In 1996, a young Cletus Kasady talking to her love Francis Barrison, who is mutated with several powers, and tells Cletus that doctors are going to take her to the Ravencroft Institute. Police arrive to take her and Cletus watches helplessly as his love, Francis Barrison, is taken away. On the way, Barrison uses her sonic scream powers to attack the young police officer Mulligan. Mulligan shoots Barrison in the eye and suffers an injury to his ear due to her scream. Unbeknownst to Mulligan, who believes he killed her, Barrison is still taken to Ravencroft where her abilities are restricted. Present day, inside the facility when a nurse is giving food to Francis, she growls at him. Francis sees Cletus in the newspaper and the doctor tells her that your old boyfriend is sentenced to death. She becomes emotional and we see Cletus locked up in San Quentin State Prison. Mulligan is now a detective and asks journalist Eddie Brock, an investigative journalist who is the host of an alien symbiote, Venom, that imbues him with superhuman abilities, to speak to serial killer Kasady in San Quentin State Prison, as Kasady refuses to talk to anyone other than Brock. Venom comes out to attack Mulligan, but Brock takes him to the bathroom and asks Venom to stop. Venom dismisses Brock and says he misses Brock's fiancée Anne. Kasady is on death row and Mulligan thinks maybe Kasady wants to reveal the location of the bodies of his missing victims. Brock goes to meet Kasady and asks him what he wants. Kasady gives Brock a quote to print with the name of a cathedral. Unknown to Brock or Mulligan, Kasady was passing on a message via newspapers to Barrison imprisoned in Ravencroft. Brock comes out and Mulligan asks him about the interview. Brock tells him he didn't tell anything yet but soon he'll reveal everything. After the visit, Brock's alien symbiote Venom deduces by looking at the drawings made by Kasady inside his cell and on the walls where Kasady has hidden the bodies of his victims the location was Rodeo Beach, California. The police find the bodies of Kasady's victims, which gives Brock a huge career boost. The government reverses its decision and immediately sentences Kasady to death, and Francis screams at the news. Venom is frustrated with Eddie as he is made to eat only chocolate and he needs brains to sustain himself. He won't eat poultry and their brains are too tiny. Eddie won't allow Venom to kill anyone including criminals, further curbing his natural tendencies. Venom thrives on phenylethylalanine, which is only found in brains or chocolate. Brock goes to Mrs. Chen's store but Venom doesn't get the chocolates. Venom gets angry and wants to eat Mrs. Chen. Brock takes Venom to the poultry farm where he eats chicken. After this, Venom crawls and jumps on the buildings and sees a thief who is trying to steal money from the women. Venom saves the woman and tries to eat the guy but Brock stops him and Venom throws the guy away. He then runs away and hangs Brock to the building. Brock is then contacted by his ex-fiancée Anne Weying, who tells him to meet. Brock goes to meet Anne, who tells him that she is now engaged to Dr. Dan Lewis. Brock and Venom are both displeased but Brock asks her congratulations and leaves. The next day, when Brock is doing breakfast, Venom brings him a letter from Kasady. Kasady, who was found guilty of his crimes and earlier sentenced to death by lethal injection, invites Brock to attend his execution. Brock goes to meet Kasady and puts his on the recording. Kasady tells Brock about how Kasady was responsible for his grandmother's and mother's death. Kasady admits to pushing his grandmother down the stairs in her wheelchair and throwing a hairdryer in his mother's bathtub. He was beaten by his father and sent to St. Estes. Kasady was beaten there as well until Francis rescued him, and they fell in love. Kasady insults Brock, calling Brock a cancer to everybody he has ever loved, including Anne, provoking Venom to attack Kasady. Kasady bites Brock's hand and ingests a small part of the symbiote. Back at their home, Venom has an argument with Brock about wanting to have more freedom to eat criminals. Venom claims that he is the one who made Brock a hero by analyzing the drawings in Kasady's cell. Brock claims that Venom is useless, and he was the one who gave Venom shelter when he was kicked off his planet. Things come to an ugly confrontation when Venom throws Brock's $2,000 HD flat-screen TV out of his apartment. The symbiote decides to leave Brock's body and go off on its own. Before leaving, Venom destroys Brock's prized motorbike as well. As Kasady's execution begins, a red symbiote emerges and blocks the injection. Named Carnage, it goes on a violent rampage through the prison. The guards try to stop him but Carnage escapes from the bullets and kills the guards. Carnage uses his full power to change himself in a tornado. He frees inmates and breaks the jail, then leaves saying, "May you rot and burn in hell, San Quentin." Brock cleans his house because he thinks Venom will never come back and Venom is sitting on a tower in the city. Brock watches the news about Kasady escaping from the jail and just then his door knocks. He opens the door and sees Mulligan, who visits him. Mulligan questions Brock about his visit to Kasady, since only after that Kasady went on a rampage, but Brock refuses to share any details with Mulligan. Mulligan becomes angry and orders Brock to investigate Kasady's escape. Brock then finds out about the old church after seeing Kasady's letter and Venom's drawings. Venom, on the other hand, uses other people's bodies in a nightclub where people mistake him for selfies as a costume man. Carnage says that only Venom can kill him, and so eliminating Venom will make him indestructible. Carnage agrees to help Kasady break Barrison out of Ravencroft in exchange for Kasady's help eliminating Brock and Venom. Brock goes to St. Estes, where he sees "CK Love FB" written on the tree. Brock calls Mulligan and asks him to find out about FB. Mulligan tells him it's Frances Barrison, Kasady's girlfriend. Mulligan tells him that she is dead and he shoots her by himself. Kasady goes to the gas station where he kills the shop owner, uses his laptop and searches for the location of Frances. He finds out that Frances is alive and imprisoned at Ravenscroft. At Ravenscroft, after killing the jail's guard, Kasady introduces Carnage to Frances, who frees her, and they kiss each other. Everyone is alerted to stop them, but Carnage attacks the guards and takes them outside. During the chase, Carnage uses his powers and creates the web to pull their car up. Then Kasady transforms into Carnage and attacks the police to kill them and destroy their vehicles. When the police attack them with a helicopter, Frances uses her echo power, which hurts Carnage when he hears a loud noise, but they both evade the police and escape. Venom returns to Mrs. Chen's shop in a bad condition and asks her for the food. Mulligan goes to the Ravenscroft to search the area where he sees Frances's cell and orders to close the city. Mulligan grows suspicious of Brock and arrests him. Mulligan says that a monster has been seen at every location that Brock has been to in recent times. Brock contacts Weying as his lawyer, and when they are talking, Brock reveals that Venom has separated from him. Brock requests Anne to find Venom. Anne and her husband go to Mrs. Chen's shop to find Venom. Anne finds him bonded to Mrs. Chen and convinces him to forgive Brock. Kasady and Frances travel to the St. Estes Children's Home to burn it down. Crange wants to kill Venom, Frances wants to kill Mulligan, and Kasady wants to kill Brock. The stage is now set for the final confrontation. Anne brings Venom back and reunites with Brock, and they escape custody. Mulligan finds Kasady, but Kasady turns into Carnage and takes Mulligan hostage. Frances goes to Anne's house and captures Anne. Frances asks Dan to tell Brock that Kasady will make a swap. Dan calls Brock and informs him that she took Anne and asks him to reach Grace Cathedral, taking them both to a cathedral where Kasady and Frances plan to get married. Brock and Venom arrive at the cathedral, and after seeing Carnage, Venom tells Brock that he can't fight with the Carnage because he's more powerful. But Brock tells Venom to eat everyone he wants except Father, and Venom gets ready to fight. Frances screams, but Carnage irritates and slaps her to be quiet. Venom and Carnage fight, but the Carnage is more powerful. Carnage throws his deadly nails and hangs Venom to the wall. As Frances goes to kill Mulligan, Carnage catches her and tells her to kill the cop without using her echo power. Carnage is irritated by Frances as her shrieks hurt him too, but Kasady is not okay with Carnage admonishing Frances in any way. Frances seemingly kills Mulligan by hanging him with a chain. As the Carnage is beating Venom, Dan throws gasoline on Carnage and sets him on fire, but before Carnage kills Dan, Venom stops him. The bell rings and both aliens fall and transform back to their hosts. Venom is overpowered by Carnage. Venom is about to give up, but Brock makes him notice that Kasady and Carnage are not symbiotic like they are. Since they see Carnage wanting to hurt Frances while Kasady tries to break away from him, but provokes Barrison into using her powers to separate Carnage and Kasady. Venom devours Carnage and kills Kasady while the collapsing cathedral crushes Barrison. Later, a alive Mulligan's eyes flash blue. Brock and Venom, now fugitives, decide to take a vacation while they ponder their next steps. As Venom tells Brock about the symbiote's knowledge of other universes, a blinding light transports them from their hotel room to another room where they watch J. Jonah Jameson reveal Spider-Man's identity as Peter Parker on television. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this.